Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo.
All right, traders, happy Sunday. This is Rev-UP by SageFT. This is review and Rev-UP for Sunday night, 4/27/25. Let's dive right into this. Last week was quite the move, off the lows. If we just kind of go back, just kind of take a look back at where they tried to move us. They tried to move us lower at first. All right, they tried to move us lower at first, and then what happened was we caught a bid, right? If we just go, we can use any one of these charts that we want. Here's the 4-hour chart, right? So where we were was it was decision point. Were we going to make a lower low and cut through all of the largest moves ever in history in terms of range, or were we going to hold these ranges and start to push back upwards into 52, 53, 54, 5500, right? So if we play it forward, you can see that they find a buyer without breaking that massive bar. So that's kind of where we'll take a look at. This is the high-to-high trend line becomes a low-to-low trend line, becomes support, becomes push point or the pivot, if you will, right? And then what happens is we get the monster gap, and so everybody's wondering, do we come back and fill this gap or not, right? So let's just move it forward, right? So everybody's bullish. We get the gap and run. Everybody's kind of wondering, well, do we come back to it? Well, they try, but what happens is they get the draw. So now that we've drawn on this gap, what we've done is we've moved up through the high-to-high trend line from the all-time high, which is what everyone has. And now we're wondering, okay, so what's next? All right, let's dive right into that, and let's get on with our day, and then we'll get ready for tomorrow morning. We'll be live 8 a.m. or earlier on all of our social media platforms. All right, so checking in, going out to the daily chart, we're at a point where either we go straight to the 64.75, which the high was 62.25. So either we go up in there and touch that, which we've been talking about this gap for a very, very long time, a very, very, very long time. So do we touch this gap or do we not touch this gap? That's what we're going to find out here. So now, if we touch that gap, I'm looking at this block right here, okay? Because is this the block that we have to watch for? Because what happens is it's the distance between here and here, right? So if we click on that, 64.72. Now, what happens if we go straight through there? Okay, well, then that's a whole nother story. We'll deal with that when we get to it. The thing is, on the daily chart, we're position one. Well, we were last week. Now we are in what we call the chop zone. So what we have to watch for is, do they turn the 20-period simple moving average green or not on the daily chart? Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Well, look, they already did it here. See how it was position one, and now it's a whole new ball game where either they're going to gap and run, or the sellers are getting a great price before it makes the next leg down. Remember, we don't know. But here's the observation. I'm leaving this one right here. Here's the deal, and let's think about this longer term. We may never see 5,300 again, ever. We may never see it again. And I don't mean the stock market's going to become more valuable. I mean our dollar is going to become less valuable. We may never see 5,300 again because they have to pay for the stocks in dollar terms. Even if the stocks decay in value, the dollars that they take to purchase them is greater. So we may never see 5,300 again, or they're just coiling this thing up to drop it like it's hot. Now, the reason I'm not real excited here, and others may be, but I'm not, breakout trading for me never works, right? So what I have to have is I have to have another signal. I have to have something else that tells me that I can trade here. Well, if 55.31 holds, on the 4-hour chart, there could be a leg up into the 35s. If not, well, then we start to come back down, and the people that are watching underneath 80 will get their wish. I can't really look too far into the future on this one. Either they're going to expand the ATR, and we're going to have larger bars, and we're going to print like we were back over here, okay? Or they're going to consolidate range, and the market makers are going to start reeling it in and really hammering on that premium that was given over here. So that's what I'm watching. Now, remember, the third option is it just goes sideways and the market makers win. I want to remind everyone there's always that option. But if you look at the 1 hour, the 45-minute, whatever, all the ones that you guys are looking at, all the way down into the 15-minute chart, okay, there's nothing saying that the sellers have come in. Here's the deal. We will see it in the 2-minute chart, and then it'll fractal to the 15, then it'll fractal to the 45, then it'll fractal to the 1 hour, then it'll fractal to the 4 hour, then it'll fractal to the daily, and we'll be ready for it. We'll be in on the 2-minute, okay? We'll be out on the daily. That sounds like a great plan. That's going to do it for me. I'll see everybody tomorrow morning. I would remind everyone, if you are a micros trader and you are in the eval phase or you are looking to be funded, Take Profit Trader has 50-cent micro commissions. SageFT at checkout, or use the link that we'll provide for you. We'll see everyone tomorrow, 8 a.m. Thank you.